Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're just going to be looking at some tritone substitutions, as you can tell by the title. Let's just hop right in it. So I have the chord progression that I'm going to be looking at right on the top of the screen, but just get it out the air. So this is what it's going to look like. So I have a C major 7, right? Then I'm going from C major 7, I'm going to F, and then going to A7, right? D minor, then G, G7, right? G sus, and then I'm going to resolve. So that's going to be my chord progression I'm going to be looking at. So let's just jump into some tritone subs. If you don't know what a tritone sub is, basically, if my root chord is going to be my C, and I'm trying to get to my F, I can use a tritone substitution on the very first chord I'm using. So if I'm going from C to F, and I know I kind of get there using like a C7, something like that, I can keep the tritone, right? So tritone 3 tones. So I'm going to go up 3 tones. So from C, that's going to be my G flat. So there's my 3-tone substitution, right? So I'm going to use this G flat instead of C7, or I could use both, right? So something like that. So that's basically what a tritone sub is, and we're just gonna kind of be diving into some cool extensions and stuff. Okay, so let's get into some tritone subs here. All right. So first one is gonna be the tritone substitution going from C to F, like I just explained. So your extensions on this F sharp 7 chord, right? So remember, it's going to be the same tritone as, right? It's going to be the same tritone as your C7, your F sharp 7. I can go a little bit more depth in tritone, but I'm just assuming you understand the basic principles of intervals. So yeah, like I said, your extensions are really going to depend on the type of melody you have. So if my melody is on a D, and so obviously, you might have to be a little bit more, mindful of your melodies and, extensions and stuff, because that might not fit, or it might fit, depending on something like that. But yeah, just for the sake of time, and I don't want to make this super. I want to make this kind of broad, so you get an understanding. We're just gonna do some simple stuff. So a couple extensions I like to use when I'm trying to resolve this F7 to F sharp is gonna be, this is one of my first ones. I like using like kind of forced like this. So A flat, D flat, and F sharp, right? I like doing stuff like this on, so using this kind of voicing, or I do something like this. This really sounds nice. That clash between these notes kind of add that extra crunch into it. So either of these, or you can do something like that, right? So if I'm right here, so you can do something like that. That's really nice. And then these fourths, B flat, E flat, A flat, they resolve really nicely to this F chord, right? Got it like an F major 9, right? So I think that's really nice. But then let's talk about where we're going after that. So then we're going to A7. That's going to lead us to our D minor. So that's a nice passing chord to get to your 2 chord, right? We're in the key of C, if you didn't know, by the way. So this A7 is a really nice chord that's going to bring us to D minor. Right? And it all has something to do with these tritones, right? So what tritone sub could we use instead of using our A7, right? Let's take the rule. So we keep the same tritone, right? This G and this D flat, and we're going to move our bass note a tritone away. So that's going to give us an E7 chord. That's going to lead us. And you can kind of already get the picture. Your tritones are usually always, if you're doing a tritone sub, are always going to be a half step above your target chord. So sometimes you don't even have to think about, with the tritone away, right? So I can do something like this. So something like that. You know, like I said, play around with the extensions. So you could do something like that. You could just do a regular E7, or you could even. So one thing I like to keep in mind with tritone subs is that, right, I'm going from A to E flat, right? But I don't necessarily have to keep this G and E flat, right? I don't necessarily have to keep this tritone. It does add that extra pull, but doing something like this, doing something like that, it's still a tritone substitution because you're replacing that A for the E flat, which is tritone away, but sometimes it feels a little better, right? So I have this. And then something like that. And then yeah, so let's see what we got here. So we got that. And the last tritone we have to think about, tritone sub we have to think about is this 2-5-1 we have. D minor to G sus. Right? Back to our C. So what is going to be our tritone sub for this G7 here, right? What's that tritone sub, right? So here's my tritone. If I go tritone away from G, it's going to be this chord right here, right? It's D flat 7, and you know, this is a really nice extension to add. I have C, F, G, B flat, and E flat, right? It resolves really nicely. So let's take a look at everything one more time. So we have this move, right? Remember that. Do something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got with these tritones, man. They're really nice, and like I said, play around